Super Whovian is also available on Spotify. You are listening to a Whovian Comedy podcast. Coming up on the very first episode of Super Whovian. From her viral TikTok videos and her incredible 13th Doctor cosplay, the wonderful Katie Haynes joins me to discuss all things Doctor Who, from the highs and lows of the Chibnall era to the rise of Ncuti Gatwa. My name is Liam and you are listening to Super Whovian. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It is an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no, thank you for saying yes. So I think if anyone doesn't know sort of who you are, we've kind of worked together without working together. It's very strange. Like, yeah.
It was it was your idea for the fans of Who that was your concept, right? That was your original concept.
So my original concept, I think like it was November 2022, and I came up with the idea. And I can remember sort of storyboarding it with my friend who helped me make an editor. And basically he was in charge of casting and like casting, but he was trying to come up with a list of who we should get. And then we put out a casting call to fans. But we were kind of trying to get some bigger names within the Doctor Who community, like online, such as you and like the Gallifrey Girls and a few others. And I can remember one of your TikToks actually came up on my For You page on TikTok.
Oh, God. Wait, which one was it?
I don't know. I can't remember which one it was, but it was so good. And I think that was the first time I actually ever saw you online. And I can remember saving it, sending it to my friend and saying, we need this. We need Katie.
Oh,
she's fantastic. And
thank you.
I think it was him that contacted you. I'm pretty sure. Because I don't remember contacting you directly.
Yes. I don't think you didn't contact me directly. I think it was him. And then you sent me what you wanted me to talk about in the documentary. And it was so much fun. And I always, like, my knowledge of Doctor Who, and it's expanding, but it is primarily New Who. I have had Big Finish. I have had a little bit of classic. But predominantly the new era. Started with Eccleston. You never skip Eccleston. Yep. I don't care who you are. You never skip Eccleston. And then I watched it with my fiance through David, through Matt, through Peter. And then when COVID hit, we couldn't watch it together. And I kind of fell off the bandwagon a little bit. And then I just remember Jodie putting out her video.
Yes,
in her that she filmed in her closet.
Yeah,
I think she filmed it in. I don't think it was her home. I think it was the home she was renting, because she has a story that I think she lost her wedding ring when she was filming that video, because she had to take it off, and then I don't know, either she misplaced it and found it, or she thought she lost it and then she found it like a year or something. No, I think like a month later she found it. But I never forgot that. And then I watched her season with Michael, and I just fell in love with her Doctor.
Yeah.
Because of her brightness and her excitement and her you can describe each Doctor with I don't think you can describe each Doctor in one word, but I think of her and I think of hope, I think of light, and I think of love.
Yeah, beautiful.
Because and that is what she's all about. I mean, that is what the Doctor is about. The Doctor in any incarnation is about love. And she brings that in everything that she does.
Yeah.
And one of the final moments with her and Yaz, um, how could you not love a planet like that?
Yeah. Beautiful. I think you summed that up perfectly, to be honest. Very
Thank
well.
you.
Yeah, but like the documentary, yeah, I saw your TikTok, sent it to my friend. He contacted you, and then I think you said, I remember you sending us a whole folder full of videos for us to choose from, and I
Oh
think
God,
no, they were like I'm getting to it. Don't worry. I think we used all. I'm pretty sure we used all of them.
let
But
this be a warning. I'm open to working with anyone. Um, like if you're a Whovian and you want to contact me and be like, hey, do you want to do podcasts? Do you want to do audio? Yeah, absolutely. But be forewarned. If you work with me, you're getting every take. You're getting everything that I've worked with Ood Sphere Productions, I've worked with TT Productions, I've worked with Spectral Horizons, and I think probably combined, when you work with me, if the script is, I did that, although it was, no, I don't remember who it was, the script that was 144 pages, but you're getting at least, Who to Who pod, I always get their name wrong. I'm not going to get their name wrong
yes,
right
I know what you're
now.
talking about. Yeah, I know exactly what
I
you're talking
always
about.
get their name wrong, and it's so awful because I've worked with them so much, and they are absolutely brilliant. Um, who Corner to Corner? I've
Yes,
worked.
that's
They
it.
every
Yes,
single one of these people must have, I don't know, 6 to 7 hours of
footage and
me in
yeah.
my closet going on and on, uh, periodically taking a drink, and you can always tell when I get to the end and I'm recording because, um, and I always have to be aware because I've started watching Bluey, and I can tell when I'm like, oh, I've slipped into an Australian accent, or because I'm sure that you've seen One Night, which oh my god, is probably one of
Bluey
Jodie's best.
is like part of
How
Australia.
did I go there? There's the literally, no pun intended. There's the bingo card for this episode. How did we go from
There you go.
Bluey
Anyone
to
listening can
One Night?
play along at home with their bingo card. Yeah, that's definitely
But
Bluey's
yeah,
like part of Australian culture now. Like it's oh god, it's
I
migrated
just learned what a
from this
Pavlov. Yeah,
this little Australian show to now like loved by Americans, and which good on them. It's great.
it's
Like
phenomenal. I'm surprised they haven't done. They need to do a Doctor. There's got to be a Doctor Who reference in that show somewhere, but I
I
just haven't
swear to
seen yet.
God, I saw something. I think there is. Like I swear I saw something online.
Oh my God, wait a
There
minute. I'm going to bring
was.
this in. And I apologize for anyone who's watching this. I'm on my laptop and and yes, I am in, I don't take this off. Like, you go to work on any given day and you will see me in the shirt, not the full costume, but you will see me in the shirt. And I always, fun fact,
Oh, that's
this
so cool.
is, this is the legit earring from the designer. Alex, why again, I should know this by heart, but I don't.
So this
Um,
podcast, I think, will be seen on YouTube, but listened to on Spotify. So if you're listening, Katie's showing off her cosplay. But if you're watching, go and check it out on YouTube, and you'll be able to actually see it. But yeah, that is
Alex
gorgeous.
Monroe. It's the ear cuff.
Yeah,
They designed it as the unity between the woman who fell to earth, the stars, and the connection. And
that is so
the
cool.
two hands are the hands between the earth and
Yeah,
her. You can get
that
it.
is so
Alex
cool.
Monroe was the designer. It's the only. So, fun fact, um, until I was about 30, I had never had my ears pierced, and my other ear is still not pierced.
But
So
then
this is the
I
only
guess
ear.
scene 13 with that, it kind of like made you bit. So I'm the same with like Doctor Who merchandise. If I see it, I'm like,
Yeah,
I want it. Yeah.
I had a fun, and you can stop me if I'm talking too
No,
much,
go for it.
because I will go off on any different directions. I was at a convention, and I was sitting at a table with a bunch of collectors, and everybody had a niche except for a friend of mine, Larry, Larry runs the Doctor Who Collectors
Yes,
podcast.
he was
Who
all
was on?
yes, he was the
He
very
was on.
first person appear in the documentary. Yeah, Larry. Yep.
And he said he needed a niche because he collects everything. I mean, if he
Yeah.
doesn't have it, it's probably not worth having, or it was screen used.
Yeah.
Not to say that he doesn't have screen used merch, but like he's got it all.
Yeah.
13 with one um with one exception, and that is my favorite companion of all time, K9.
Oh, yeah.
I love K9. Everyone is gonna, I can feel like the bombardment of how is K9 your favorite companion? You can have that argument with literally any other companion. Every
Yeah.
companion is going to be
Pretty
somebody's
much.
favorite companion. Every doctor is going to be somebody's favorite doctor. There are no bad doctors. There are no bad maybe there are no bad there are no bad companions. There are bad people who have stepped onto the TARDIS. I know we all joke about Adric. I don't really know Adric. I know his final episode.
See, I don't get
And
it.
I
I
was
love Adric. I think he's not.
I was going back and forth, and I'm like, I think if he had had a, because half of the time I'm like, oh my gosh, I get it, and the other half of the time I'm like, that was a really solid moment.
Mm,
Like,
yeah.
why do we hate this? Like, I don't know. I feel like there was some inconsistency there, but even I think I was at a restaurant the other day and I loved everything that I was having, and it was sushi, and I'm not a big sushi person,
Mm,
but everything I ate I loved, and it was like I it was kind of a moment where I realized I never wanted to be a food critic because I never wanted to hate or nitpick everything.
yeah.
And Doctor Who is highly nitpicked,
Oh, yeah.
particularly
Yeah.
now. And I really hate that because, first of all, I love episodes that other people hate. I hate episodes that other people love. But in every single episode of Doctor Who, no matter what it is, there is something good. There is a good moment, there is a good line, there is a good performance, there is in episodes that like I will defend Orphan 55 until the day I die.
Yep.
I will defend that episode. And if you look at it genuinely, it is classic Who in a new Who package.
Very much so. The tone feels like I'm not, honestly, I'm not a huge, I love that episode. Not a huge fan.
Right.
Love the monster. Love the monster.
Yes.
Um,
I love the drag. I thought
oh,
the
yes.
can, had we cut, I think if they had ended on a little bit more of a sober note. In your time, governments are still arguing about the washing up while the house burns down. That is a brilliant line.
Mm.
That is a brilliant line. And I just think that, and yeah, there are moments in every single episode where I'm like, everyone is going to have what they love. Everyone is going to have what they hate. As far as I'm concerned, so long as you're not bashing anyone, or so long as you're not hating, like putting your hate towards somebody, uh, just let people love what they love. You can say, yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't like this for this reasons. You can also say, I like this for this reasons. So long, like the just check the toxic, get rid of the toxicity. Just get rid of the toxicity.
So in that sense, because you're so like most of your TikToks, you are dressed as a 13th Doctor, and
Yes.
I say most of your TikToks, most of your online content, you're dressed as the
Mm-hmm.
13th Doctor.
Yeah.
And with Jodie's era, there was a lot of negativity towards, oh God, where do I even begin? Towards Jodie, towards
Oh,
Chris Chibnall, towards the companions, towards pretty much everything. So for
yes.
you, dressing as the 13th Doctor online in pretty much everything you did you receive a lot of that negativity as well?
Oh, I still do. I
Yeah.
still do. There's a video that I've got right now that is going viral, and I don't know why, because it genuinely makes no sense. I get people who say things like, um, nobody likes 13. No, why are you cosplaying as the worst doctor? I think the most intense one I ever got was, she looks like she put her face in a waffle iron to make herself look like Jodie Whittaker. The only thing that I did to make myself look like Jodie was my hair. And
Yeah.
honestly, I love like I love the way this turned out. I love
Yeah,
having the
it
Jodie
suits you
look. I
so
think it
well as
look
well.
it
So
suit yeah. Um and now she's cut it short and I'm like and people are like, "Oh, are you going to cut it short because Jodie?"
mm,
No, I like my hair this length and people who have done honestly, people have done 13 with the short hair looks phenomenal.
yeah.
Um I you want to put out hate into the world, that's fine. Go ahead. I'll block you, I'll mute you. I think that the comment that people have said, "Oh, I'm not a big fan of 13, but I love what you're doing." That's fine.
Mm,
That's fine. I'm not going to convince you that you should love a doctor that you don't love.
yeah.
Don't tell me, oh, you should hate that.
Yeah.
Why?
Yes. Yeah.
Like I think of like I think of 13 being like, if someone says, "Oh, you're the worst doctor or I hate you," I'm like, she would just go, "Fine. I'm not going to waste my time trying to convince you that you should love me. I've got a hard enough time loving myself. But I don't understand why you take the time to tell other people what they should or shouldn't love. You're allowed to dislike something. You're allowed to like other things. You're not allowed to go out and attack people.
Yeah.
That's a you problem. I've got enough on my plate as it is. I've got enough hate toward myself for the things I've done. I've got to think about Daleks and Cybermen. And in the grand scheme of things, your hate doesn't stand up to the hate that Daleks and Cybermen can put out. In fact, if you took the time to put out the love that apparently you have for Doctor Who, because you're putting out a lot of hate toward me, imagine what you could do if you put that hate, converted that into love. Try to do that with Cybermen. There are a couple. Converting that hate and unfeeling into love, converting that energy. Think about all you could do, all the good that you could do.
That is such a 13 response. I love it. It's so good. But literally, like your energy and things like that in your TikToks, that's like, as I said, like I saw you for the documentary. I saw you on TikTok, sent it to my friend. He contacted you. He he was, I think he received your submission, and then I think probably a few hours later I got a message from him saying you have to watch, like you have to go and like then he emailed them to me, I think, and he's like, you have to see what she sent. And I like went through and watched bits and pieces. I think I watched of it, and I was like, edit together and then we'll have a look and see how we go. And I just I loved your energy for the, like I think you were the second or third person, I think, in the documentary. I can't remember. For those who don't know, the documentary is on my YouTube channel. You can go and watch it, and Katie's in it. And Larry, who we spoke about before, who I think he's the first person, I think.
He
But
actually has one of the greatest. He has a signed. You can ask him about this. He has a signed first edition annual by William Hartnell,
that's
legit
amazing.
signed by him. And he got like people were messaging him saying it's not possible. You couldn't have it before this and what? No, no, he
Yeah.
had this before the internet was invented.
Well, I know in his video he showed a lot of his collection as well, which was just like I've got a huge collection, but this was something else, and I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
like amazing. But yeah, like I watched your videos and I like loved your energy was like amazing for like to put in the documentary, and then yeah. So, but like yeah, if anyone doesn't know, it's on my channel. You can go and watch it. Part 1 and 2, because it was so long. Like we didn't realize
Yeah.
how many. The idea was always to have it movie length, and we were like, cool, yeah, we'll make it like a proper movie. We did one final cut, and I think it was like 4 hours long. And we were like, okay, what do we do? Like, we don't want to cut. The promise was we're going to keep everyone in. We
Yes.
don't want to cut anyone out. We wanted every like bit and pieces of their videos in. So we were like, the only option we have is to split it into two parts. And we were like, okay,
Yes.
but it worked. It worked really well, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, um, but adding on to like the negativity that you receive, one of the
Mm-hmm.
huge things as well is the timeless child, which changed everything. So luckily, I like it. I like that there's so much potential with that story, and I like that Russell
Mm-hmm.
T Davies isn't ignoring it. So
Yes.
for you, what's your opinion on that huge story arc that Chris Chibnall threw into the world?
I'm gonna get on a little kind of little mini, uh, I'm going to throw out the controversy here.
Go ahead. Let's go.
I'm going to throw out the controversy and I'm going to say, um, it does it disrupt the canon? Yes. Is it huge? Yes. Is it not going to be to everybody's cup of tea? Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't believe. Does it unsettle the original canon? Yes. Does it destroy it? No. Because we still have the doctors that came before. That story has not been untouched. I agree. I can understand why people are like, he is complete. Like, it feels like he inserted it way into the Doctor Who lore. So I get that some people would be upset by that. In terms of what it does for the Doctor, I think it's the positive argument is that we can have more and more and more and more doctors, and it makes sense. Think about it in terms of thematics. The Time Lords were always terrible. The Time Lords were not nice people. So it makes sense that they would do something like this. It makes sense that Tecteun would do something like this. I can't remember if it was Talia on the Wibbledy Wobbledy Timey Wimey podcast, but there was, I think Talia, they might have brought it up, but I know someone brought it up to me that it's actually not a deep look, but it is a look at, I think, colonialization.
Yes, I think I've heard something about that as well. Yeah.
And it is like, I don't know if that's what Chris Chibnall was trying to do. Also, he is one of the nicest people you will ever meet.
Have you met him?
He is. I'll actually show you. I'll show you a video. I've been to Gallifrey 1, Galley 1 a couple of times, and he was there with Jodie. And he was signing autographs. Now, how much do you think he charged?
Oh, I don't know because
throw a number out. Throw a number out, and I'll say higher or lower.
From based on what you said, that is so nice. I don't think it'd be very expensive.
Go ahead, just throw a number out.
American dollar wise.
Yeah, American dollar wise. Throw it out.
$80, $90.
Lower.
Lower. Okay. Oh, that's good. 30.
Lower.
Are you serious? Okay.
Lower.
10.
Lower.
Oh my god! What was it? Free?
It was free.
Oh my god! Good on him.
And you just had to have something to sign. Now, what I'm holding,
again, if you're listening on Spotify, go on YouTube and check it out because it is very cool.
Now I'm holding the script that I went through the script read with Jodie, where she read, and we still had to mask up while we were inside.
Yeah.
And I'm basically telling him, what the 13th Doctor meant to me, and I start crying.
Good on him.
Because I say, I wish she was still the Doctor.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't know if you saw that, but he said, she'll always be the Doctor.
Good on him.
And he was just the most nicest, wonderful person. I understand why people are mad because it is such a big uproot to the canon.
Yeah, yeah.
But it doesn't destroy William Hartnell. It doesn't destroy Patrick Troughton. It doesn't destroy John Pertwee. It does not destroy anything of what we had before. If anything, it makes the Doctor even sadder if you think about it. Because I don't know, I think it was Terry Pratchett who wrote the line about death. I may be completely off. People in the comments can tell me. At the very end of the universe, when everything is gone, I'll turn out the lights and leave. If the regeneration cycle is endless for the Doctor, you have to think about a being who is going to see all of us live,
and lost so
all of
much as
us,
well, and lost so many friends, and yeah, yeah,
and the doctor, there will never be a loss. There will never, how many children died on Gallifrey?
yeah.
Was it four? It was 496 billion or two
I think
point
so. Something. Yes,
7 point. It was 7 point something billion. You
yes,
did you. The doctor will always love. The doctor will feel everything. After, will the doctor go beyond death? Like, you can't imagine. I wrote a fan fiction once where my one character gained immortality, and she said she hated it because she watched Doctor Who. Because people, I don't think people understand, or maybe they do because of Doctor Who, the concept of if you're immortal, you lose everything and you have nothing. Hopefully that blue box on your bed, that blue box, hopefully the doctor will always have the blue box, will always have the TARDIS. The one, my beautiful ghost monument. Like, the panic that she has in Serenga. I know a lot of people don't like the Serenga conundrum. I freaking
I
love the
yes,
Serenga
that episode
Serenga conundrum.
is so underrated. Like that's one of my top, definitely in my top
I
five for
love
the
it.
13th Doctor. It's so good, and I
It's
can
so
understand.
good.
Like every episode, I can understand why people don't like an aspect of it. But it's
Right.
such a good, like I love it. It's such a good story, and the like creature itself. But come
Oh,
on,
I
like
love the Pating. I
it's
love the Pating.
it's like the adipose, but terrifyingly
Yes!
angry. Like it's just awesome. It's just so
Oh
good.
my god, that's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt. Uh
Adipose but
you,
angry. Yeah,
yeah, um I think it just makes the doctor even sadder
yeah,
because God, for the show, hopefully the show will go on forever, like Star Trek, like certain Disney characters. The the show will continue and the show will live on and the character of the doctor will live on, whether in comics, TV, Big Finish. Um, and we don't know how many years each doctor has lived. With Capaldi, somebody figured it out in the confession dial. Capaldi was
yeah.
there for
I think
7 billion
yeah, billions
years.
of years. Yeah.
Um,
And then you've got the 11th Doctor as well, who lived on Trenzalore for
yeah,
God knows how. I can't even remember the years and like so long as well. Like, yeah,
it was the doc. Nothing is no nine. How would 13 say it? 900 years of time and space travel. I've never met anyone who wasn't important before.
mm.
The the doctor will love and care even when there is nothing there.
I love that Chibnall said that to you though, like that she'll always be the Doctor, because that's
Yeah,
such like a real thing to say for not just for you, but like for every fan. Like everyone's got their
yeah.
Doctor. For me, see, I'm the annoying person. I don't have a favorite Doctor. I just can't
Not yeah,
pick one. It's just so difficult
but
because
each of
I've
them
seen
will
Classic Who
always
as
be the
well. Like,
doctor.
yeah, but that's what I mean. Everyone's got their Doctor, so to them,
Right,
they'll always be the Doctor. So I love that he
right.
said that to you. Like that's such like like I love, yeah, like I love that it came from the showrunner himself. Like that's awesome.
It was it was such a wonderful moment, and
Mm.
I remember watching The Power of the Doctor and just being like so overwhelmed. And I can't can't even think about her regeneration scene without getting um teary-eyed. And I think that's a moment for every single Doctor Who fan. You know, you can't Waterworks coming up for every single new Who fan. You can't say you're fantastic without someone out there, feeling their heart jolt. You can't say, I don't want to go. You can't say, you can't think about someone taking off. Like it, you have to remember that even though those are the moments that your doctor regenerated, they're still the doctor.
Yeah.
Even and
Yeah.
and Peter Capaldi, Jodie Whittaker read a letter written by Peter Capaldi to a child, and in that letter he said, um, uh, "The one that goes, he never really goes. He's always there," or we should say, he or she or they, always there, somewhere in time and space. And if you think about him hard enough, you'll see him or her, and he'll see you. So even though the doctor has regenerated, your doctor, that's the incredible thing about this show. Your doctor is still there. William Hartnell is still
Yeah.
there. Jo Martin is still there. John Hurt is still there. They don't go. That's the beautiful thing about this show.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
They
100%.
never go.
Yeah. And so for you, I mean, you mentioned before that Jodie came along and you just fell in love with her doctor. So was there
Mhm.
a moment for you in, say, her first episode, or was it a few episodes in that you were like, that it clicked for you that you were like, that's the doctor? Or was it just kind of immediate upon
You
announcement?
know what? That happens for every single actor, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember the exact moment that it was for me for Jodie.
Because I'm the
Um,
sort of person that when it was announced, I was like, no, like, but I was like that for every single actor that was announced. Like Peter Capaldi
mhm.
was announced as a doctor. I was like, really? Like, Shooty was announced. I was like,
I remember. I don't. That's.
And the
I
moment for
think it
me that I was like,
was.
she's so the doctor was the point where she's standing on top of the crane and has that speech. And I was like,
Yes.
and I was like, that's it. Like she
You know
just
what?
nailed it.
If I'm gonna be blatantly honest with myself, I think I got cheated out of the episode moment because I think it was the COVID video. And I think that's where, um, I think that COVID video, and I'm going to get emotional.
Oh, so did you see the
Um,
COVID video before you even watched her episodes?
I saw the COVID
Okay.
video
All
before I
right.
even watched the episodes. And that was where, um, my idea, I think that's where it all started for me because it
Yeah.
was this, um, I am a huge Disney fan.
Yeah.
I have a lot of issues with the company, but the parks, the cast members, it's a home away from home for me. And I just imagined, um, there was one time I went and I got my photo with some of the princesses, and I was wearing a necklace, and Cinderella said, "Oh, what a beautiful necklace. My fairy godmother would love it." And I said, "Well, I actually wear it as a memento for a friend of mine who passed away, and I still have that necklace." And she said, "I'm so sorry." And I said, "No, she lived a long life. She lived till she was about 89 years old, and she was so full of life. And she showed me a new perspective on life. And she looked at me, this Cinderella looked at me and said, she was your fairy godmother."
Oh,
And you have to imagine, um, I mean, I can make the argument that that's where the magic comes from in the Disney parks, but what if you're, I'm not transgender. I can't fully imagine what it is like to be a transgender person, but, I can imagine being afraid to tell, and not even that, like, not even on the, like, if you live somewhere where you're not going to be accepted, I can think, as the doctor, as the 13th doctor, if someone comes out to me, I can think that is one of the most brave, selfless, true things. And you're telling me that? What can I do? How can I help you? That's brilliant. Let's celebrate. What do you want me to call you? What pronouns do you want me to use? And it's not, it goes beyond just, in those instances, it goes beyond just acting. It's, this is something that is so personal, and it can be anything. It can be talking about abuse, it can be talking about anxiety, mental health. People have said, could you talk about losing a pet? And in those instances, it's more than just putting on the costume.
Yeah.
It's more than just acting. It's, you know and I think about that speech in the Demons of Punjab, which is another episode that I love.
Very good
And
episode. Yeah.
because of COVID, it hits me a different way, because the Thajarans talk about being with people who were, who didn't have anyone with them when they passed. Um, and, thinking about her speech on love, and, you know, what something I believe in, my faith, love in all its forms. And I think about, what would she say? What would she do? How would the doctor react in a way that could be accessible to, and everyone's going to go through you know their own journey, but what can I say, and how can I embody her in a way that can be accessible to everyone? And I got a message one time, I don't remember who it was, um but this person said, your video inspired me to come out to my parents.
See, that's
And
amazing. That's amazing.
but I don't, like, what a, is,
And as a content creator,
you
that must be,
you did that.
yeah, that
you,
must be a
you
lot for you to hear as well. Like, obviously a
it's one of
privilege,
those,
but also,
I didn't, I it's so weird to say, not weird, but it's like, I didn't earn that.
yeah.
You did that. That was your victory. Maybe my video helped, but I it's not something, it's like this, I don't know, it's almost like you, and I can't say it's not, it's like you handed me a part of you by you telling me that. You gave me this golden light. Like, I can almost, I know I have a weird way of explaining situations, but it's like you gave me this precious glowing part of yourself. And I can't accept it because I didn't do anything. You did that. But I don't even know. It's impossible to describe, but to hear
Yeah.
that being told to you, I remember I got a photo with a friend and they were shaking. And I looked at them and I said, "Are you nervous to meet me?" And they nodded. And I, I'm just me.
Yeah.
I am just me. But to know that I've done that and maybe helped someone in that way, or if people don't hear I'm proud of you, if people don't hear I love you, if people don't hear you're doing enough, to give them a little bit and to say, like, I can feel in a weird way every doctor in my soul being able to say to someone, "You've done so much. You are doing more than enough." And those are words that can be spoken by any doctor, like literally Hartnell to Baker to Eccleston. The doctor you love, whether through your cosplay, your art, your fan fiction, your audios, your scripts, whatever you do, you're keeping them alive. You're keeping their light alive. And I know that your doctor, who, and this got way deeper. This got way deeper than I thought it was
No,
going to
that's all
go.
right. That's okay. I
Um,
love it.
and I know that I said, and you used that line in the trailer, and I got so emotional when I said it.
Mhm.
Anytime you see an act of goodness, an act of caring, that is the doctor. And it is. Like anytime you see, there's a moment in the novelization of Kerblam that I'm not going to spoil,
Yes, I've
but
honestly just finished reading it a few weeks ago. I've ordered it and read it, and it's so good. It's so good.
I preferred the book to the episode. But there is a moment in the book where, slight spoilers, so if you don't want the book spoiled, this is a spoiler heads up.
Yeah, skip ahead a bit, but yeah.
There's a moment in the book where another doctor makes an appearance and another companion makes an appearance, and there is always an act of kindness that can be done. There is always a way. The smallest actions can have the biggest impact. If everyone had, you know, sometimes the doctor can't do everything. And it is Martha freaking Jones, the
Yes, here we go.
doctor who
Martha appreciation.
saved
Here we go.
Martha Jones. I'll say it before and I'll say it again. Martha Jones, the doctor who saved the doctor.
Hmm. Yeah.
She went around telling everyone the doctor's story. She did it. She is the doctor, capital T, capital D, who saved the doctor. And she did it through humanity. Everyone believed in the doctor, and it was that belief that brought the doctor back.
And that's the beauty of the Doctor Who. Like, fandom as well, because like we were speaking before about how divided the fandom is, especially over the last few years. But there's so much
Right.
room because we've got, Big Finish and so many Doctor Who fan
Yes.
films for people to tell their own stories, and it's just
Yes.
incredible. And it's things that like I've seen audio stories and fan films where fans have come together from like
Yes.
different backgrounds to tell this one story. Like it's incredible for that Doctor Who fans have the power to then kind of like make up their own doctors, with the fan films and things, and
Right.
literally write. Like I think I can't remember the name of the YouTube channel now, but there's an audio YouTube channel. I'll put them in the link if I remember. That they've like added on stories to like the Seventh Doctor and things, which is just like,
Yes.
so it's things like that that bring the Whoniverse together, which is amazing. And there's so much
And
room
if
for people to tell their own stories. It's so good, and that's the beauty of Doctor Who, I think.
and I think that if like you're allowed to not like certain things, but it's
Yeah,
the toxicity. There is a difference between disliking something and being toxic towards it.
that's what I mean. Like you can not like say like I'm seeing a lot of hate towards Shooty now.
And
There's
I
a difference
don't,
between
I don't get, I, there at moments in, like my fiance and I were watching Boom, and
yeah,
we were going to be like, and we were watching like, that's going to make people mad.
yeah,
That's going to make people mad. That's really going to make people mad. Um, but Shooty, honestly, Shooty already for me had his doctor moment, and that was um Captain Poppy. When was the last time you had a hug?
yeah.
But his definitive doctor moment where he is the doctor was in Boom.
Yes, for me that
And
was the moment. That speech towards the end was he's like I
oh,
said,
his moment for me was I can't remember exactly how the line went, but it was something like, go check and see if anyone else needs help. You're standing on a bomb. I'm not screaming. And it was
yeah.
like, there he is.
Well, that's what I mean. For
There
me,
the doctor is.
I have to adjust to each new doctor. Like every time, like I said, mentioned before,
Right.
every time a doctor's announced, I'm like, I don't know. But then, for the last few episodes, and it was Boom, his speech in Boom that I was like,
Yeah.
that's it. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
He's acting in the first, he's only had 4 episodes now. We are recording this, 73 Yards comes out tomorrow, but we are recording this the day before. But
Yeah.
there was, like, his acting throughout the 4 episodes so far has been like phenomenal. Like I've seen
Oh
Shooting
no,
Sex
he's been
Education,
perfect.
and he's always like I think the first thing I saw him in was Sex Education, and from that
Yeah, for
moment
me it
I
was
was
sex
like,
education.
oh, he's such a good actor. And
Yeah.
it was his moment in Boom that I was like, that's the Doctor. Like it was just the emotion, the anger, the hatred he had, but the love as well he showed in that episode was so good that it just, yeah, I think he embodied the Doctor like perfectly in Boom.
It was um I knew there were moments. One of the there was a counter argument about, 13 had this wonderful moment about faith, and Shooty said, just because I don't like faith doesn't mean I don't need it. And I interpreted that as uh blindly following religion or blindly
Yes, yeah.
following something without questioning it. I think that was in reference to, you know, you have to look at it exactly this way. You can't deviate between it. And 13's something I believe in my faith was not bashing any religion or bashing any faith. Um, it was, this is what this is what I believe in. But I also know that, it can be right or wrong. And I think that was one of the core points of the episode,
Yeah.
was not, not following blindly. And I thought Shooty was incredible
Yes. Yeah.
in that episode. I thought that was a standout.
Yeah.
Because before, like, he'd been great in the other
Yeah.
episodes. I think the second episode, Jinx Monsoon stole the
Oh yeah.
whole
Oh,
thing and
absolutely.
was magnificent. Oh my god. And I like that was incredible. I enjoyed Space Babies. I literally had the
It was like, yeah, the devil's
when
like,
I
I
put
enjoyed Space Babies. The
I was
Devil's Clawed,
enjoying
I
it,
enjoyed a
but
lot
when
more.
I put two and two together about what was going on under the ship,
Mm.
I was like, "Oh, Russell!"
So,
Oh.
speaking of Shooty, then there's so much at the moment of who the hell was Susan Twist, who's the one who waits,
Yes.
who's the like what is bringing everything like together. So for you, over the last three episodes,
Yeah.
including some of the 60th specials, some of the things mentioned in the giggle, what are do you have any theories? Have you like kind of thought much about anything? Like,
I have my theory is fringe. I think it was, I don't know if this is the right word for it, but it would be a fringe theory. How would you define that? Like at the very edge? Like mine is
yes.
not thought out.
Yep.
Mine is much more like, mine's kind of a laughable theory.
Okay, let's hear it. I'm interested. I'm
Um,
very intrigued now.
we have had a lot of fourth wall breaks.
Yes.
We've had a lot of fourth wall breaks. The Shooty mentions the music being diegetic. He winks at the camera. I think there was something in this latest episode. I know there have been a couple of like looks towards the camera, including by Jinx Monsoon.
Yes, a lot by Jinx
I'm gonna
Monsoon,
go.
yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb that says the one who waits is us.
Okay, I like that.
I think. I actually, if you look at the theory of relativity, we're the universe where there can't be a universe where the Doctor doesn't exist.
Yeah.
There can't be a universe where Liam doesn't exist. There can't be a universe where I don't exist.
Yeah.
Um,
I like that. I like that
I
theory.
am
Like, I
wondering
haven't
if
thought of
the
that. That's
one,
really good.
I am wondering if this is the universe where the Doctor is a TV show and the one who waits is us.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that can work with I genuinely don't know how that can work with Ruby Sunday.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I think that that's way too meta. But I think I don't know who Ruby Sunday is. Everyone is thrown out, is everybody thought there was a split second where everybody thought the woman who was carrying a Ruby was 13 because she had the same boots on.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, please, please. I don't think it is. I don't know what, I mean, you could make the argument because The Song in Her Heart is a Christmas carol. You could make the argument that it's the return to the Christmas special because Doctor Who hadn't had Christmas specials for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think that's way too meta because I don't think we got any real meta in the previous episode. Because I think we got something in Space Babies. We got a little bit we got a lot in.
Yeah, I think the only thing in Boom was really. Yeah, I don't think there was. I think there was.
Although you can make the argument because he was referencing other doctors.
Yeah.
There were a lot of other Doctor references.
So then, speaking of the theories, and like you just mentioned, like people thinking that the woman carrying the baby is 13. Who do you have any theories regarding who Ruby's mother could actually be? Have you thought much about that? There's so much. I don't think I have thought about it too much because there's so many dots to connect, and there's so many. Like you've got the theory of who Ruby's mother is, who Susan Twist is, and then you've also got who the one who waits is. There's like 3 different things going on. I don't think I've actually thought and connected dots with anything at this point yet. Like,
I
there's just still
genuinely
so much we don't
haven't.
know.
I genuinely haven't. And I feel like we might get a little more on who her mother is in this upcoming episode, because
Yes.
it appears to be a Dr. Light episode. But I really haven't. I mean, I think there was another thing that it's like when it said in Boom that she's like 3,000, her lifespan is like 3,000 years.
Yeah.
You know, it's the theory that she's the Ronnie. It's the theory that she is like she's somehow related to Susan.
Yeah.
The I don't
I have heard the theory that
I don't know.
there was something I read the other day that she's the Doctor's great granddaughter, which I was like, yeah, like any way that they can bring Susan back, I'll happily take it. I
I'll
would love
take
to
that.
see Carol Ann
I'll
Ford
take
come back.
that. I'll take that, but I still wonder about the theory that Susan is like she is not related to the Doctor.
Okay.
There was that line, I think that it was Missy said that he stole the president's daughter.
Yeah.
And I think at the time, I almost think that I genuinely think this is a high possibility that when the Doctor left Gallifrey, Gallifrey had become so toxic that Susan, the president's daughter, wanted to leave, and they just set up this whole thing like, from here on out, I am your grandfather. That is how we're going to get out of here.
Yeah.
And maybe he became her, because isn't that, yeah, Gallifreyans, they put it in the canon. Gallifreyans cannot have kids. Gallifreyans can't get pregnant.
Yeah, there was some mention of that actually. Yeah, I do remember.
Something like
I remember
Gallifreyans,
reading something about that ages ago.
I don't know. I think this, like, because by the time, and I am a huge, even when I remember, I remember when Sims Master first came up in David Tennant's era, and I was like, well, I ship them hard. And
Yeah.
I ship Dewan Master in 13 like it's going out of style. I ship Thasmin, I ship Thorshi, I ship 13 and River. It's a long story. But I was recently rereading the History Between Us scene. And I don't know, like, because Koschei came from a pretty high background family. I don't think Theta Sigma came. I think I don't know where it was in relation to the Academy, but I don't think Gallifreyans can give birth. So it is highly unlikely that, or at least at the time when they were on Gallifrey, I don't think. Then he says in the line, "Dad to dad," or it could have been adopted father. You know, maybe the Doctor in that older form was the protective father that Susan never had.
Yeah.
Because I highly doubt that the current president of Gallifrey, whoever that was at the time, was a good dad.
Yeah. So let's wrap up the episode with my favorite segment that I'm going to introduce each week with the guests and get them to have a good think. And I did message you about this earlier because I wanted to give you a bit of a heads up. I didn't want to spring this on you. But this segment that I'm going to do at the end of every episode is called What If? So basically, the question is asked, what if you were the showrunner? Who would you cast as the Doctor, the Companion, and the Master?
So I'm going to bring the mood down a little bit.
Okay.
Before I go back to the happy bit, but if I was the showrunner, there is an actor who I would have cast as the Doctor, and that was Chance Perdomo. And he died this year on the 30th of March. He was Ambrose Spellman in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah.
And I saw him and I just immediately thought, Doctor.
Yeah. Okay.
And had what if had he not died? Because he was he was killed in a motorcycle crash and he was
Yes.
27 at the time.
Yes.
And I would have absolutely, oh, and he was Snork in Lumen Valley. Um, had he not passed away, I absolutely would have cast him as the doctor.
Yeah.
No questions asked. He would
Good
have
choice.
been my doctor of choice.
Yeah. Okay.
Shall I uplift from?
Let's go. Let's
All right.
throw it back up.
So if I were the showrunner, I'm sure absolutely none of you are going to be surprised by this. I would do a I would probably go back to having a kind of a serial arc, what they did with Flux.
Mm-hmm.
But I would bring back Jodie Whittaker. I would
Yep.
bring back Mandip Gill, and I would bring back Sacha Dhawan as the Master.
Beautiful.
However, I would have a 5-part story where the three of them have to travel together. And
Okay.
it is the most
Right. Okay.
it is the most like chaotic love triangle, and the emotions would lie.
I do like that. Okay.
That despite everything, the doctor loves the master and the master loves the doctor.
Yeah.
I also firmly believe that the doctor fell in love with Yaz. It's just as a joke in a video that I did, but I think it's true. There's one for every face. You know, the fourth doctor, Sarah Jane Smith. The ninth doctor, Rose. The 10th doctor, Rose. The 11th doctor, platonically, it was Amy.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of Amy and the 11th doctor going together. I don't. I hate that one scene. Everybody knows what I'm talking
Yes.
about.
Yeah.
Effing problematic. It is not funny. It is the A word.
It feels very out of not it just feels out of place. Very much
it
out of
was
place.
not like Amy and Rory. Yes, I'm good with Amy and 11. No.
Yeah.
12 and River. 12 and River. No disrespect to people who ship him with Clara. I know that ship is out there. For me, it's River. It's River and 12. For 13, it was 13 and Yaz. And it is this like you have this back and forth of at the start, it's like, who do you choose? And then it's this deep dive into, I genuinely love you both. She can't be with, the master is saying, Yaz can't be with you forever. I can. 13 saying, but look what you've done. And it's this like, and even Yaz saying, I can't be with you forever. He can, but it it's this deep dive into what love is.
Yeah.
What, at the end, like, there's no way it can end except with the master leaving and the three of them all accepting their feelings and the complicated nature of it. But there's so much history and, a way to explore, the doctor having a same-sex relationship. The master kind of getting a vague understanding. Like, the master will never love Earth.
Yeah.
But that kind of understanding of, I get why.
Okay. No, I do like that. I
And
like that idea.
kind of having, it would be a much more like, emotional season
Yeah.
counterbalanced with just like, I don't know, if I was the showrunner, I would want to go really deep into their relationships. But then, because I'm not good at sci-fi.
Yeah.
I mean, I love sci-fi. I have to use a name generator whenever I come up with planets. I'm good at writing the beats. But in my scripts, it's always like it's kind of cut and dry who the villain is. And you kind of see who the villain is coming a mile away. That's just how I write. I'm not phenomenal at it. But an episode like Midnight, that would take me 5 years to write. That is not something that I could just sit down and
No, no,
throw
I
out on a
could
moment's
either.
notice. But I think it would be very, very heavy on the relationship aspect, and then the trying to save the earth almost takes a backseat. Like, I absolutely have the moment where I have the Scooby-Doo moment where where Yaz and the Master are just screaming at each other in the foreground, and in the background you have the Doctor like just going, like pushing a Sontaran to the side.
Yeah.
Literally, like, it would be a one take where the two of them, they're having this intensive dialogue, and then in the background you just see Jodie scrambling to like shove a Dalek away. And I like, you got to counterbalance the seriousness with comedy somehow, otherwise it would just be unwatchable.
I like that idea. I think that looks good. So then, okay.
I,
so as showrunner,
yeah,
you'd bring Jodie back.
Yeah. Yes.
But I have one final question that just popped into my head that I thought I have to ask this. If you were going to do a multi-Doctor story with 13, who would you pair her with? Which Doctor would you pair her with?
I call them Team Tea Time because they are adorable, they are light, and they love tea. I would do I would do either a 1-2 hour long episode or a two-parter with 13, 11, and 8.
Perfect.
Bringing
the 8th Doctor I wasn't expecting, but 13 and 11.
When I will tell you, when I saw Paul McGann on screen with Jodie Whittaker, I screamed so loud. I'm surprised my neighbors did not call the police. I love the 8th Doctor so, and I will go on record, one of the greatest Doctor Who stories ever in any media. The Chimes of Midnight.
Oh, yes. I was hoping you would say that.
Chimes of Midnight. I love the 8th Doctor so much. 8, 11, and 13. They are my Doctors. I love them. Mwah. Give me a story where where it starts happy, it ends happy, and then the middle is just pain and anguish.
Okay.
That's them.
Well, look, Katie, thank you so much for coming on the show.
You are like very welcome.
We've mentioned that your TikTok videos is where else can people find you online?
You can find me. My two platforms are TikTok and Instagram. I am on Twitter, not a ton. You can find me at stop it with the pop-ups. Go away. Not you. The pop-ups. They won't stop. So what's going on? Stop. So Katie G Angel 44. Beautiful. That is my TikTok, and my Instagram.
All of Katie's links will be in the description as well, if you guys want to go and follow her and on Instagram or TikTok. But yeah.
And then my Instagram is Katie G Angel.
Perfect.
On and for those who are, so here's this is where TikTok is the weirdest thing ever. I will put in hours to be able to do a solid Jodie performance. Like I will try not because that's one thing I don't want to do is I don't just want to copy her. I want to embody her. I don't want to copy her. I'll to embody 13. So I'll put in an hour to do a solid scene. But then somebody explained to me how, as a joke, this was a total joke because it was the exact opposite. I do a video featuring Deadpool and the voice actor from Hell of a Boss who plays Blitz, Brandon Rogers.
Okay.
And that video has here. I'll show it to you right now. I don't know how this. Don't get it. That video has 413,000 views.
There you go. Blew up completely.
And 12,000 shares. And it was a joke. Yeah. I'm not complaining. It's literally one of the mysteries of the universe.
Oh yeah. The not the weirdest things, the most unexpected things will blow up on the internet. Like it's
although the weirdest things, and I like, again, I'm not complaining. It's just like literally it's one of those Zen quests. It's one of those questions where it's like if a tree falls in the middle of a forest and there's nobody around to hear it, does it make a sound?
Yeah.
Totally if the most non-violent gun-opposed character in the universe does a duet featuring two of the most violent, crazed characters in media, how does that attract? I guess it's true. Opposites attract. Oh my God.
The universe is starting to make sense.
I feel like for a split second, I understood everything. And then it was gone.
See, the universe is starting to make sense. The links to Katie's TikTok and her Instagram will be in the description if you guys want to go and follow her and show her some love. She's wonderful on TikTok with all of her incredible videos. So you have to go and check it out. Like I said, the link will be in the description. But again, Katie, thank you so much for coming on the show. Like I said, the moment I had you in the Fans of Who documentary and the moment I started planning this podcast, I was like, she has to be on it. She has to be episode 1.
Thank you.
I have to have her on to discuss.
And hopefully this will get all of the craziness here. We'll get, we'll get everybody listening. Because again, that's what you get with me. You get, literally, that's what you get. Countless hours of me talking and performing in a Yorkshire accent, which I performed. I performed for Jodie. Did you see that?
You did in the documentary as well.
Yeah, I performed for Jodie and I scared Mandip Gill.
Did you do it for Mandip as well?
I did. Well, here's the funny thing, and I'll leave you on this. I will leave you on probably one of the funniest moments that ever happened in my life. I go up to her at Gallifrey One. I tell her, I'm so happy you came. It is wonderful to have you here. And she gives me that look. Where are you from? I said, all right, I will level with you just because I do it to see how bad is my accent. She looks at me, are you putting it on? I said, I am. She said, top up? I said, top up because, no joke, I am actually from Chicago and I just trained myself to talk this way.
That's amazing.
I dropped the accent. Where's the photo? Why can I never find the photo? I dropped the accent.
There must be coming from Yaz herself. See, that's awesome. Coming from Yaz herself, how would you not just I would lose my mind. That's awesome.
Her reaction was the greatest thing ever. And I'm very happy that I got Yaz to react like that.
That's so cool. Anyway, as I said, her links will be in the description. If you guys enjoyed, if you're listening on Spotify, make sure you follow because there'll be a new episode very soon. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and leave a like down below and join in the discussion in the comments as well. I'll be replying to comments that you guys leave. And Katie, again, thank you for coming on the show. It's been such an honor having you for the very first episode as well. Like, it has been incredible.
Thank you so much for having me. This episode, what a roller coaster. We went from like fun to serious.
It was very
to,
like very up and down, but I think it's been amazing. And yeah,
I feel like this is like a Doctor Who therapy session.
Oh, definitely. Oh yeah. No worries. Go and give Katie some
Thank you
love
for
on her
having
social
me.
media, guys. Thanks for coming on the show, Katie, and I'll see you guys next time.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the Whovian Commonly YouTube channel. Cool.